Good morning everyone, Gadget here for Henry's, and in this video I want to talk about some best practices before you set out to film your first documentary project. And specifically I want to talk about 3 things that you should consider most once you've figured out the story that you want to tell. Let's get this started. Before you invest in any gear, really consider what you're hoping to capture, right? Well, when you figured out the story, start to visualize how are you going to be filming it? How are you going to be documenting it? Are you going to be indoors? Are you going to be outdoors? Reference other projects and go behind the scenes online and try to figure out what is your day-to-day going to look like? Are you going to be a single operator or is there going to be a team around you? When you really figure out how you're going to film your project and produce your project, suddenly all the other decisions become easier. And if you can, reach out to other cinematographers that you admire online and just try to ask them some of the things that they would recommend for the type of work that they're doing. So the first tip here is to really consider what your journey is going to be like. The more time you spend here, the easier I feel your journey is going to be. When it comes to gear, I think my approach might be a little unconventional, but it came down to the journey that I was going to be on. For the work that I was producing, the in-field, the audio that I was capturing in the moment was going to be critical. I needed to be able to capture great dialogue. So the first thing I looked at when I was looking to build my documentary filmmaking kit was what microphone am I going to use? And specifically, how was that going to interface into the camera that I was going to use? I went with the Rode NTG5, which is actually capturing this audio right now so you can hear the difference, and it made for something that was able to isolate in-field audio, cut things that are around and behind out of it, and just focus in on the subject in front of the camera. It's something that is a bit more of a premium solution, but the thing with a microphone like this is that you're investing in it once and using it for a really, really long time and hopefully not replacing it. Next, it came down to picking the right camera, and this can be difficult because there's so many great options on the market. When I looked at the what and the how of my project, it suddenly became a no-brainer for me. I went with the Canon C70. With mini XLR inputs for my microphone, a true cinematic sensor, built-in ND filters, a traditional design, and robust filmmaking features like waveforms, false color, and proxy recording, the Canon C70 brought so much to the table that it felt like the perfect solution for what I wanted to capture. More importantly, the image quality and dynamic range that I was able to see from this sensor really felt like it catered to the project that I wanted to film. Now there's several other smaller accessories you might want to consider, but I think the next most important one is the right lens. And for me, I needed something that could cover my preferred focal lengths. So I went with the RF 15-35 f2.8 lens from Canon as well. This thing on the Canon C70, because of its Super 35 sensor, it's about 20 to 50 millimeters in the equivalent full frame perspective. But that covers my main focal lengths that I enjoy as a cinematographer, 28, 35, 50, but also gives me a huge range on the wide side where I can get close to 20 millimeters wide. And that made for interesting results when I really wanted to expand the perspective for the viewer. There's several lenses that might round out your kit, but having one that you can rely on for most of your work, that's gonna become invaluable. So, whether it is talking to your cinematographer friends or using the live chat on henrys.com, talk to someone, talk it out, and really make sure you're getting something you can count on more times than not. My last tip for someone that's going to embark on this documentary journey is put in the time and capture as much as you can. Just keep the camera rolling. Don't worry about hard drive space. Keep shooting, get all the coverage shots, and really start to think about, capturing shots for the editor back at the desk. And, you might be the editor back at the desk, but think about putting your timeline together and having enough options to put together an interesting edit. With our aggressive shoot schedule, each day of location recording delivered several hours of footage, and I'd have about 2 to 5 minutes of actual project footage for each hour captured. With that conservative approach, I knew that I would have to capture 3 to 5 hours of footage each day, outside of any talking head and drone shots. This was something that was wildly underestimated when I was planning my initial project, but quickly got an appreciation for. So when you set out to capture your story, to really set yourself up for success, overinvest in how much footage you're planning to capture. Really keep the camera rolling because you never know. And I really want to believe your future self, or maybe your editor, will thank you later. So there it is. Those are the 3 tips that I think you should consider before setting out on your next documentary project. There's really a lot of things to consider, but those are the 3 things that I want to bring to your attention. I should also mention that, this is a big undertaking. If you want to talk to an expert, visit your local Henry store. Talk to someone in store because they can help guide you, especially when it comes to the technical items. Make sure you're oriented in the right direction. Anyway, I've used up my time for this video. As always, my name's Gadgen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.